Hello, people of the internet. Round two, fight. If some of you are probably too young to get that. Uh, I tried this one time before, and I couldn't for the life of me get myself to spit out the words "drop anchor." I just brain farted to the extreme. Anyway, so working with my vise. I've had this vise forever, and I've had it on this stand for probably almost 10 years now. Solid 7. And it's been pretty good. Since I got here, I set 3 drop anchors like I did at my last house. I put it in, tightened them up. Everything was good over there. Here, it's always been a little wobbly. I think my floor is less level than my last house. I did not lay this concrete. I did not have it laid. And I did not go and figure out if it's level or not. So I'm working with it today a little bit, and one of the drop anchors pulled out. Which, well, actually, I take that back. I was tightening up a bolt, and I snapped the drop anchor off on the bolt. So that's quality. The other 2 are still there. And I kind of been scratching my brain, looking it over. Sorry, I had to put something down. That's terrible. Let's try this. I've been scratching my brain, thinking it over. And let's see. I don't know. I know that there's going to be a million people that are like, "Oh, you should have done X, Y, Z to begin with." Go build your own tool stand the way you want to build it. This has worked. Like I said, had this for several years. It's worked for me up until this point. If it works, don't go messing. So let's look at what we got. Pretty standard 6-inch swivel head, generic vise. It's got a pipe vise on the one end, that on the other. A little bit of anvil on there. Works really good. I scrounged up a pipe flange, and it just happened that the bolts kind of lined up, so that worked great. A couple scrap pieces of angle iron, some Schedule 80, goes down through a Volvo spare tire, and then on the bottom there's another pipe flange, so that it sits flat, but it has a nice basically though, the lower flange is half of this size, but it gives me a nice flat base all the way through, and then the rim spreads out. I did leave the spare tire on this. At the time, I did not even have manual tire removal, and I've done that in the past where I've just left especially on these. This is, one of them donut spares. They're super compact, not very thick, and I've done it in the past. It works. Other people have done it. It works. It's not a problem. So I don't think that's really the issue. That is probably it. So it's whatever. It's the floor. I did shoddy work. It doesn't matter. What I'm thinking, though, is normally I would run a bolt down through one of the, couple of these holes, and that's fixed it pretty well. Here, the 2 bolts that I had on this, I had a triangle. There's 2 over here, 1 over there. And half 13s, half-inch 13 bolts, and these 2 would snug up pretty decent. That one I found was a little loose, so I went to tighten it, and that's when it broke the drop anchor. Well, obviously the bolt was too long, and which definitely tells me that I have a problem with plane. So I think taking this off and then welding welding tabs onto the rim that come out, and then dropping those into the anchors, I think that's probably my plan of action. Getting this tire off of here, now that it's all, the way it is, that should be fun, because I could actually put, living out here in the sticks, I keep random tires. When I'm driving by and I find them on the side of the road, I keep random tires because they make I can put them to use. You know, I can use them for all sorts of stuff, and it's a little different than when you're living in the city and they just become trash. But yeah, I mean, I'm out here in the sticks. There's nobody to complain about my collection of tires along my driveway. So I think I'm gonna figure out how to get this off without having to cut it. I mean, if I have to cut it, I have to cut it. It's not like it's not like a big deal for me. But I'd rather not. Out here, you either have to burn them, bury them, chuck them in the woods, which eventually that gets in the way, or find alternative uses, or pay to dispose of them. I pay enough. Everybody pays enough, right? You pay enough in taxes, you pay enough in bills. Who wants to pay extra for a service you're already paying for? And we're already paying to have trash hauled off. So I think that's the plan. I think the plan is trying to get the tire off. And then once the tire's off, I can get, well, I don't know, I got plenty of scrap metal. I can get something put in there and weld it up, and that'll hold everything to the ground. And if I have to, I can shim it or something like that. Listening to something go off, and I don't know what it is. Oh, my air tank's finally draining. That's what that is. So I turned my air tank off yesterday, and it's just now finally draining. So, okay. All right. We'll pick this up when we figure out how to get that off of there. All right. So, fumbled around with my manual tire stuff, spoon and a crowbar, and a wrecking bar. And, yeah, it just wasn't happening. I wasn't too hopeful. I'm spoiled. I've only ever had to do tires on pneumatic machines and stuff like that, electro pneumatics. And yeah, I've got a little manual one I do like the garden tractor tires with, but with this one being in the situation it's in, that definitely wasn't going to help me any. So what we've done is we've broken out Ye Almighty Metabo, and we're going to cut the lip all the way around on it, which is going to be a slow and tedious process, but it should allow me pretty much to just knock the tire off from this side. And since we're, gonna be making feet for it anyway, does it really matter? No, it doesn't. And I'd like to thank my good friend Donnie, who is unfortunately no longer with us, for supplying me with this years ago. And I'm always a knucklehead, never break it out. I don't really know how to use it because I don't have a lot of experience with one. But boy, that was so much faster than running a cutoff wheel. I knocked that out pretty well. There's the ring. Got some nastiness. As I used it a little bit, it got better. As does. But yeah, I just got to knock the tire off and we'll be good to go. All right. I'm going to cut this one. I'm really regretting the fact that I didn't spend the extra time initially making sure that the bead was broken on the other side of the rim, not just the side that I was going to cut. It's life, So I don't know. I get excited when I start working on something and I just jump in and my brain gets about 3 steps faster than what I'm actually doing. And you miss the simple stuff. So it's what it is. I'm just gonna back up and regroup. This is not a necessity type project. This isn't life or death. I'm not trying to get to work the next day or nothing. I'll come back and I'll beat on it some more tomorrow, and eventually one day I'll beat on it enough that it just falls apart. Till then, I guess I'll smack on it some more. So I'll pick this up when I got that broken. And tires off. Never underestimate the power of a giant mallet. This thing's actually really cool. You can change the heads in them. I've only ever had the leather, bound leather heads in them. But it's what I used to beat rims, stuck rims on dualies on the big trucks and stuff. Use that and knock them off. And you didn't screw up the rim. And it worked pretty well. It's got a good bit of weight. It's about 5 or 6 pounds. You can also get, what have I seen? I've seen rubber inserts. brass, copper, all sorts of different materials. But our tire is off the wheel, so progress has been made. Remember, kids, progress is the opposite of Congress, okay? All right, so I've gone ahead and I've got the first of the new mounts set, and I started filming before I had things in a place where it made any sense. But I got that one tacked in, and it's in one of the existing drop anchors. So I got a drop anchor here and a drop anchor here that are from how I originally had it bolted down. I got these guys knocked out and just, I didn't even measure them. 3/16, 1/4 inch steel angle. Put some 9/16 holes in them, which is more than enough wiggle room for, for the 1/2 inch bolt. And then what I'll do now, because that one's just finger tight, I'll do this and I'll slide this up so that I can get access to this hole. I will finger tight the bolt in. I will prep everything with the grinder, get the mill scale and the paint off, tack these in, and the other two, because they'll be fresh holes, I can just take over on this side, I can take and splay them however I want. I just only wanted to drill and set, 2 additional holes, not 4 or 3 or anything like that. And I got a whole box of drop anchors, I got the tools, I got all that stuff. It just, I don't, keep it simple, right? So go back to doing some other stuff. We'll come back, we'll see what we got. All right, and it's back together. I got the feet welded on. Got a coat of paint thrown on everything. Nice thing about painting stuff after you weld it, it's nice and hot, flash dries. You don't have to worry about anything. Tool and equipment brown. That's what that is. But it's less rocky-walky than it was with the tire on there and only 3 bolts. That's oil from cutting. I had to open up this one, and I think that one over there, or that one over there. I had to open up 2 of them, so a little bit of cutting oil. Sorry about the fan. Trying to blow out all the fumes, paint fumes, welding fumes, all that good stuff. But yeah, so that's back together. One little project knocked out. Flip camera around, so don't get motion sick. Whew. All the light, always. Every time I flip the camera around, there's lights. All right, so I think the next time I do a video, I'm thinking and moving my eyes, and that doesn't work out. I think the next time I do a tooling video, probably going to be setting up the old 3-legged engine stand so that I can mount my bead roller and maybe my little 30-inch brake on there too. I don't know. I want to find, I need to make a home. No, not the 30-inch brake. It's going to get my bead roller. I'd like to make it more useful than just the bead roller. Oh, and I guess if I'm working on the bead roller, no. The next tool to get fixed will be the bead roller, because I need to go and strengthen it. Need to add some gussets to them, because, it's the westward, well, mine's westward fab, but, it's the eastward, westward, Amazon, whatever. Yeah, it's the plate manual bead roller, and they all flex. So there's tons of internet videos on ideas and different ways and methods to strengthen them up and try to pull some of the flex out of them. I'm going to use 3/16 or 1/4 inch angle. I don't remember what size it is exactly. I can see it on the floor over there. And I'm going to build gussets with that. And I might go back and look at some of the other videos. I know there's a few things you can do on like tension bolt to make it spring loaded, make it work a little nicer. Right now I'm not motorizing it, but I would eventually like to motorize it. Anyway, that's not part of this video. Sorry, I'm rambling. So yeah, next time I do a tooling video, I'm gonna be working on the bead roller. Vise is back up. Get out, have fun, go do something you like.